we are kings and queens. We always talk about how we were kings and queens.
We still are.
We're kings and queens now. We put people on. We have royal families.
Yeah.
The Carters are a royal family, right? Like we have royal families. We do these things. There is nothing that is less important or majestic about Black American culture.
Right.
It might be a little bit more dramatic. You might see it a little bit more in a different way. It might be a little glitzier because of the way that America is, but we've bled, we've fought, we've died.
And there's an absolute respect for that. And I will tell you this, and this is from my experience, you tell me differently, and I think there are a lot of people who agree with me. I was at a basketball game, and a woman came to me from, I think she was from Mali. I can't remember where she's from, and she was like, thank you so much for sharing your story. And I'm getting ready to walk in the game, and I'm like, I'm almost in tears. I'm like, dang, why you do that to me? Right? But she was saying, like, the same way you were treated, and she's probably 7, 8, 9 years older than me or something like that, I too was treated the same way. And so when you talk about what's being said in conversations behind closed doors, I can tell you, whenever I've been to any of the countries I've been to in Africa, I've been to 8 countries, I still want to go to all 54. Bring me to America. America. There's this reverence because of what is marketed to Africa about America.
Yeah, certainly.
It's like there's this, oh man. But on the other side, it is like, oh, you African? I can't tell. I mean, all the way till when I was, all the way till when I was in the locker room. And so here's the thing. Because I played football, I had a sample size I think was just a little different. I'm in a locker room with 100 dudes from all over the United States, right? So you get a sample, and I've been through multiple teams, right? And shut up, man. You from Africa, man. Shut up, man. You from Africa. So I got dismissed.
We get dismissed
because I was African.
Shut up, African. Hey, African.
And so
shut
what
up,
I learned,
African.
what I learned in elementary, from elementary, I learned that if I became more ridiculous, I took the heat off of, you can step on my, and I don't feel pain. I flew in on a helicopter to school. I'm like, what? You poor like us. What are you talking about, right? Yeah. I did anything so I could take the heat off of me. It was constant. I mean, when they would say, they would go through the names and go, whatever, the last name I knew, oh boy, here my name come on. There's a Gbajabiamila. Me. I try to hurry up and beat it to the punch. So the class wouldn't erupt into laughter.
They did it so when you're going down the name of students. Godfrey that's me. Like Danchimah. Hey,
look, I totally get that. So this is what I'm saying. Number one, is it a possibility that a football locker room might not be the most evolved place in the world to have a
wrong?
Okay.
Wrong. It is the most involved because where there's a brotherhood.
No. I understand that.
No, evolved. No, it is evolved.
So what I mean is this, and this is not a diss to any of the brothers play football. But what I'm saying is there's a whole other part of this story. Yeah. A whole other part of this story is romanticizing Africa and being African, and people for generations telling young Black Americans that your salvation is in what you were, because you were a king, you were this, your woman, you are the mother of civilization.
Yeah.
You started that. You are the original people. Yeah. You are all of that. And that focus sometimes is a focus that says, look to the past for the grandiosity of your humanity, because what you're living in right now ain't that. So there's also been, on the flip side of that, I'm not talking about you guys' experience, because obviously my man Ben Toure, I grew up with him in Baton Rouge, and Ben used to get it all the time. Ben was quick with his words, and he'll be quick to cut you down. Right. Ben used to get it all the time.
Yeah.
But there's also, in my opinion, this grand view. I mean, people go to Ghana and they weep, they cry. People go to Africa and they feel a certain feeling of connectivity of home and belonging. That is a lot of that is because of the stories that we've told ourselves about who we were.
Yeah.
I think in the last 30 years, particularly, we've started to tell and want to tell a lot of stories about who we are.
Yeah.
And to me, I was raised by old Black people in Louisiana.
Yeah.
And those people wanted me to know what I am and what they did. They wanted me to know that they survived for me. They wanted me to know that me thriving in this world was honoring them. And they wanted me to know that it started in Maringouin, that their history started there, not their entire lifeline. That goes back to the beginning of time and to who we all are together. I think the next step in this is when we all decide, and one day it'll happen, maybe not this generation.
Maybe after this a podcast.
Maybe after this podcast.
Maybe.
When we all decide that there is something that connects our people that no one can explain. It's different and it's not pain. We think that it is. We think it's a shared history or history that's unshared. There's something else and no one can say what. And it makes people feel uncomfortable when we revel in it, when we are joyous in it, when we share it.
They hate our
and
happiness.
not just Africa, but in the islands. When you see them, when you go, man, I remember going to Grenada one time and the brother in Grenada goes, man, we so happy to have y'all. Welcome to the Africa, the Caribbean. And me and Charlamagne look around like, what? Like we, you know what I'm saying? So like, when we understand that thing that the rest of the world can't understand about what it is to be black, that they turn us on each other, maybe we'll stop doing it to each other voluntarily and figure out a way to move past it.
I was gonna say, like, even when I went to Jamaica last year, they're like, welcome home, brother. And I felt it was like being in Nigeria. I was like, I didn't know that. It was so fun. And they were like, we've been waiting for it. It was like, what the? And then I was walking around because I was at Sumfest with Vibes Cartel. So, you know, and I'm walking around saying what's up to different people. You know, they know who you are. You know, they, oh man, brother. Then I see some girls. I say, oh, there's some Jamaican girls over there.
There you go.
I say, hey, what's up? They're like, we from Atlanta. I was like, I thought, she go, we all look alike. But it was, I love that because I was like, oh, they look, you couldn't tell who was who. Every once in a while you get people go, okay, he looks Jamaican or he looks Nigerian. We're the same. And when you were talking about American, being American, you got black Native Americans, black American, Native, black Indians who were here. Nobody was a slave. There are black people who are already here. Because I met black Cree Indians. I used to know when I used to perform at this one spot in Pennsylvania, there were black Cree Indians. They go, no, we've always been here. And they're speaking Cree. They look like I never heard no Cree before. I was like, what? They're going amongst the lip. I was like, what the? It's like, oh, we're black Crees. We've been here. You know, so there's that. So when you think of Native Americans, black Americans, Native. There's Native. There's the Siberian ones that they talk about.
There's no part of the formation of this world that like we're not a part of. I think right now, there are people that are having conversations like this in complete good faith. And then there are people that are obviously hustling the algorithm for their own personal thing. I think it's probably not constructive to look at everybody like that and to put everybody in that boat. But what I do think is important, and even I've had to learn about this, to have these conversations in love and understanding to what people's personal experience and trauma is. Right? And so the trauma that I might have is partly epigenetic, right? But it's also partly just this deep sense of authority that my ancestors have. You go to Ventures Memorial Cemetery, you start off with my father in the front, and by the time you get to the back, there's slaves there, right? And so I owe them, and I owe them to assert their identity, and I owe them to not let their identity be denigrated by anyone, no matter what the shade of their skin is. But to me, we brothers. That's it.
And I appreciate that, man, because I love that, because that's how I've always felt. You know, like to me, I've always had love for, you know, the people that I grew up with in my community, for the people outside of that, the people back home, like to be able to have that level of acceptance and for, you know, for us to spread that throughout. You know, the thing that I know to be true is that the work to divide us, like they divided up Africa, continues to work in the new age of the algorithm. It's like, how can we divide them? How can we spread this stuff? And I'm like, no, man, like, and maybe I'm arrogant to think that our conversations can change that to where there is no longer the dismissal of the African or, you know, the misunderstandings when it comes to, you know, Black American culture, like to be able to educate us, because it's once we're educated on both sides and we start to understand both sides, because this podcast doesn't just hit here, it hits back home as well.
Certainly.
So the conversation gets to be understood about what's happening in Black America, and it's done intentionally, you know? And then likewise, we get to have the conversation, because we've had a lot of African conversation here, right? And it speaks to the people back home. But we're now, and then having you as our first, you know, quote unquote, and I said, no,
As your first Akata. The first Akata.
Our first Negro. Our first colored guest. I want to thank you for coming
I'm a barrier
out
breaker.
of segregation and Jim Crow. You're our first Jim Crow. You're our first Jim Crow. Excuse me. Not to be mean there, Mr. Sanford, but their first Jim Crow.
I was having a moment. I know you were. I was having a moment, and you gave him an opening.
But here's the thing also, is we really got to love Blackness, period. Whether it's African, whether it's Caribbean, I enjoy it all. Because I've never had a problem calling somebody my brother that looks like me. I've always, no matter what country I'm in, I see another, oh, what up, hey. And we always have this acknowledgement. When I was in Kuwait, right? Performing in Kuwait, and you see the Black Kuwaitis, we already was like, hey, hello, hey. And I'm like, what's up, man? He goes, you know, I said, how is it? He said, you know, it's the same thing. Like them as darker Kuwaitis going through.
Because
you be in Amsterdam with the Surinamese people. I would do, you know, Suriname, you know, Suriname. So I would do comedy, do Surinamese shows. They all look like us, but they're going like, and you go, so what's up? But he goes, you know this. It's the same. I mean, I don't think that it's a shame that we have to be connected by our pain, like you were saying, but there's a joy to seeing your own folks. I get happy, and I like we got to get more into us. Loving us. I mean, loving what we do. Things that being all Black, there's nothing wrong with that.
But you know the one thing that
I don't always have to, like, people are quick to not include us in. They're quick to do that. But when we have something, we got to include them. No, stay out. Just stay over there for a while. You know, because everybody always has to, but they're so quick to not have us in. We're always like, no, but let them, no, we don't need them here. And it's not a hatred thing. It's just we got to get our together.
New drop, it's in 154 collection, embroidered mask shirt. We got the soccer jerseys in.
Gold.
You can see it. Come on, you know what you got to do. 154africa.com. Go get it. Stop wasting time.
Look, 154. We all connected, baby. You already know. I'm talking 154. We bringing Africa around the whole globe. Ain't no place like home.